All right, everybody, welcome back to the NBHL Commish Chat Podcast. I'm NBHL Commissioner Anthony Sanrocco, joined by Gianni Sanrocco and TJ Janus as we take you through all the happenings of the NBHL. And it's been a little while, fellas. How we doing?
We're doing good. It's been a while since we've recorded, but you snuck a podcast in there without us, with all the Scotland boys.
Yes, and girls, Becca.
And Becca.
Yes.
Shout out to Becca.
Yeah, Scotland was awesome. There's a whole other episode on it, so we're not going to really dive into it too much here, but if you want to, it's a long listen. It's an hour 40. Gianni's not on it, so you can probably tell our voices apart. And we just kind of talk about, all the stuff we did.
Did someone give you guys feedback that you sounded the same?
Yeah, I've heard that from a bunch of people.
I guess I've known you guys too long.
That's why I grew out the hair, so that people can tell us apart.
True. Yeah, we need to grow out the voice too somehow. It was 6-7 of us on the podcast, so it's a lot. We're on there for an hour 40 just talking about our trip. And to sum it up, it was the best ball hockey tournament experience I've ever had.
Sick.
And I would like to always put teams in that tournament if we can.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people reaching out to us throughout the tournament saying like, hey, why did I not hear about this? And it's like, well, we did post it on social media and we sent it out to our email group. So it's like
newsletter, all that stuff.
So it was easy to miss, I guess, but everyone got the same notification that everyone else got, but we're going to have a team next year. Hopefully they made it sound like they're going to continue doing this tournament. If we have enough for 2 teams, we'll send 2 teams. If we have enough for 3, we'll talk about it, but
that would
we'll see. That would be a lot, but
yeah.
The experience itself was great, made some good connections, and the hockey was great. Great Britain national team looked awesome. Yeah, it was fun. Go to Scotland if you can.
Maybe we'll go next time, G.
Yeah, I know. I won't be so busy next year planning the wedding and all that fun stuff. I'll have a little bit more free time.
And a bachelor party, so yeah. I'll hopefully have some free time too, and I definitely want to go to Scotland because I haven't been to the UK at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's my first time. It was cool. I didn't like driving on the left side of the road, but besides that, everything was pretty good. But yeah, if you want to listen, hear about Scotland, we have an episode about it. You can listen. So, other just general updates. We have our 2 and 10 custom apparel store that is now live for team apparel orders. Jason Kelly and 2 and 10 are handling those. There's a Google form sent out. There's a post on social media. If you want to get merch and have not seen those posts, have not seen the form, email us, league@thenbhl.com. We'll get you in touch and we'll get you to get stuff ordered. We are working on our NBHL apparel store for the NBHL. I'm not going to say the date we want to have it ready by because if I say it, then we will not be ready by that date, but we're working on it. It should be ready soon. We're sorry for the delay. The start of the season was just, chaotic and it got pushed behind, but I did myself, we have a bunch of stuff that are hidden on the store right now. I ordered a shirt and it gets to me tomorrow. So it is working. We're just making sure we have all the things up for all the teams before we release it live. So should be soon. We're very close.
And that's for individual, like our NBHL store will be for like individual one-off orders. The Jason Kelly 2 and 10 apparel store, that'll be for if you're putting like a big group team order, you want to do it all at once. It's easier to order a lot than just one-off. So you would, go to that one if you're going to do something for the whole team.
Yeah. And then NBHL championships, just a reminder for everybody, because we probably should put a couple more posts out with the dates, but
yeah, we're getting closer.
September 13th to 15th, Riverworks Buffalo, Tier 1 Women's Elite, going to be elite. Very excited about that. We've got some very exciting things about that we cannot announce quite yet, but we're going to have some cool opportunities for teams that won't be competing at that Milet Cup to
participate.
Yeah, participate in some aspects. So we're just finalizing that right now. Should be, hopefully next podcast we'll be able to say, hey, here's what we're talking about. And second weekend, September 20th to 22nd in New Jersey. We're at the Marge Martin Sports Complex in Blackwood, Tier 2, Tier 3, women's tier. I did the math today. Tier 2 right now, if things go as planned, would have 16 teams. Tier 3 would have 19, and women's would have 4. If those numbers hold true, Tier 2 and 3, this is your warning now, everybody's going to play Friday. we'll have a couple rinks. We'll have a couple different facilities going, but we want to try to avoid the 4 games in a row on Sunday for getting to the championship. It's not ideal. So if we can split it up and do 1 Friday, 2 Saturday, start playoffs Saturday night, and then have playoffs all day Sunday, you're looking at 3 games on Sunday. So it's a little less on the body.
Yeah,
I know the both the Bashers and the Long Island Sound shared that sentiment. Bashers probably a little more. They're a little higher in age than the Long Island Sound.
And in the rain and all that, it's just that was a lot.
We asked a lot. So this year we're gonna try to fix that. Hopefully, knock on wood.
Try to fix the rain too. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll fix the weather.
Suspensions, we are up to 53 suspensions on the year. Record pace.
Are we? I guess it.
I don't know.
Is it
but
record
feels
pace
that
like
way.
in just solid like numbers or like suspensions per game? Do you have that?
Do you have that stat
Maybe
available?
I don't know. We gotta do the math at some point, like the actual percentage. But it's been a lot. I mean, we just had one incident that we suspended 12 players from, so that's a
outlier.
Big portion of it. So you take that away, we're at only 41, right? Like not that that's multiple a week, But we're at 142 total games people have been suspended for, and leaving, if there's an altercation, you leave the bench.
We've said it.
If you get in that altercation, if you get close to the players, like you're gonna get suspended no matter what. If you make head contact, there's a few exceptions where we won't suspend someone for it, but generally head contact is gonna be a suspension. Glove on, doesn't matter. Like it's just. We're all going to work on Monday. We say this all the time. We just don't want people possibly leaving with a concussion.
Yeah.
Any injury in general, obviously, but head contact is so easy to prevent because there's no reason to ever actually hit someone in the head.
Yes. Well stated. And it's a super competitive sport and we understand that, but just, like you said, everyone has to go to work Monday and, that's it. Like it's not professional. I don't know. By any means yet. So it's just, you got to keep your emotions in check and just kind of control that and play hockey at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a high level, but people think it, you think it is professional. Like that's what we want it to feel like. Like you want it to feel professional without being professional. And that's where, there is just some disconnect, I guess, sometimes. Right. And that's where these suspensions come in. So just, be mindful of that. Like that person you want to hit in the face is going home
probably
to a family and kids,
3,
or they've got to, I don't know, do a podcast or something where they need their face, which I guess we don't necessarily need it, but yeah, let's just. I feel like I say this every episode, and like people are just going to do what they're going to do. It's an emotional sport, but I just wish it didn't happen as much. Social media stuff like. We've had some team content this year we've been working on. We've done the rink tours. So if if your team, if you yourself want to film any level of, film around the rink, film getting ready, going to the game, film your team walking out on the rink, film a pregame speech, like whatever it is, if you have content like that, we will edit it. We will put it together. We'll put it on our social media. If you have the videos, just send them our way. Like we would love to use it and, just get a bunch of teams on our content. Like the Niagara Fighting Irish, they did that walkout video. They sent us a video of the pregame speech. We overlaid the walkout with the speech. Like it turned out pretty good. So
open new ideas and suggestions and stuff like from the teams, like just DM us and, our little channel on Slack. They're always cooking some ideas. So, more the merrier.
Yeah. And like, even like, some of our random posts, like the mini players graphic, people seem to really like that.
That was awesome.
Shout out to our social media coordinator, Sienna, for that. That was her call.
Yeah.
And Rob Stefanelli for editing him. He did an awesome job. So that was good. So we're trying to get more creative like that. And if you're listening to this podcast, it's probably in the week following Memorial Day, and there's no games the weekend prior. So we're going to try to, get some different types of content. We've filmed some skits in here that I am just, I'm trying to like become okay with them going on social media. Like it's just weird to see yourself like trying to act.
Yeah.
Like I watch it and I'm like, I think this is good.
It's tough. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. So I've shown it to a lot of people and I mean, people like, they're right next to me. They're going to probably give me a relatively positive response, and it's been positive, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's tough.
We'll just turn comments off for that one.
Yeah. I don't know. It's at some point we'll have them and they'll be out there and you guys can rip us apart and we understand.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to, diversify the content a little bit with stuff like that too. But yeah, like May is a weird month for the NBHL. We have a lot of divisions that don't play for Mother's Day. That Sunday's pretty empty. Some teams play the Saturday before, the Monday after, but it's a light weekend. And then in Pittsburgh this past weekend, there was the club championships. Yep. Congrats to the Gods winning it. I guess their second time, right? They won the first one. And
no, they win. Did they win the first one?
They
did win the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably wouldn't want to mention it, but it's technically the third club championships win.
Oh yeah. They won the B. That's true. Yeah. So congrats to them. But like, tier 1 basically takes that weekend off because of that tournament.
Most of the players,
So that's a light weekend. And then, this weekend's obviously Memorial Day. So we've got nothing. So May is weird. June is generally on, Father's Day. There's more games on Father's Day than Mother's Day. And basically until 4th of July, we're not really taking Sundays off.
Right.
So and 4th of July this year is weird.
Yeah, it's like a weird weekend where it's like in the middle of the week. So like, do you take off the week before? Do you take off the week after?
Yeah.
Do you do both?
I don't know. I guess we'll see, because usually in the week leading up is when we get all the people mad at us for the game. So I guess we'll see how mad people get.
There's usually some adjustments being made.
We'll address it. So,
and now the heat's going to start coming around.
I know.
June and July. So this is really where you earn your stripes as a player, and actually anyone that's showing up to the rink. So yeah, it's some grindy months.
Yeah, it gets hot.
So we got 3 double headers to look forward to on our team coming up.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of June, July. That'll be fun.
As a goalie too.
I mean, I ran outside yesterday just to be like, I need to maybe like get a little adjusted to this. Yeah. I was going to today, but I just opted not to for no reason. But hopefully back again tomorrow. And then we also just did power rankings, which, the way we do the power rankings, and someone commented, fire whoever made this list, which I thought was so funny.
They were probably like number 1 or number 2 or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember who it was, but I was, when we first post them, the comments are always ridiculous. Yeah. But the way we do it is we send basically like a scale to the directors and say, rate these teams 1 to 100. 100, you're going to win the Milet Cup. Right. 90 is they're very good. 80 is there's like a playoff team. Like there's like a scale to it. We take those rankings, we, average them all together, and then, we make a couple adjustments here and there just to like make sure everything's pretty standard across the board. And then we put the graphics and we post them, and it's, it's tough to put, tier 2 and 3 are, 70 plus teams. I think tier 3 is teams, I think tier 3 is what, 90 this year?
I mean, I didn't rank them this year, but last year and the previous, I was just like, I don't know. Like,
and it was trying. And it was crazy. Like just looking at the tier 3 rankings, like you get to number 25 and there's like 10 more teams that deserve to be in the top 25. But there's, only so many spots with the amount of teams that there is right now. So if you were slated, use this bulletin board material. I know a few teams said that they're going to do that. And
it's worked in the past for some teams, I know.
Yeah. So if we slighted you, I mean, I'm not sorry about it, but it's a tough process. Maybe I'm a little sorry.
That's why they're power rankings and not.
Yeah. They're nothing official. It's just for fun. And we're going to do those once a month. I mean, we'll do them in June, obviously. July, we're getting into playoffs, so it gets a little complicated because there's a few divisions that are already done by mid-July, which is crazy to even think about, actually. But yeah, power rankings, and then Women's Elite. I think last podcast we alluded to the names
that they were going to be coming out,
and now they're out. So the 4 team names for the Women's Elite are the Novas, the Angels, the Hyenas, and the Orcas. And there's no reason for it besides we thought it was like, land, air, sea, and space. Like it's 4 different areas that we thought was cool. I think it's hyenas and orcas are both, species that are predominantly like the female is like the dominant,
The superior.
Yeah. So we just, people are telling us these names suck. And I'm like, well, we did, there's some thought into it.
We put some thought.
We had surveys and people submitted, some names to us and stuff. So I'm happy with them. I think the logos came out great.
I love how the logos came out. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Nick Salvatore.
I'm all in on the Angels. I love the logo. So that's who I'm riding with before they even drafted a team or anything. So yeah.
Yeah, they all came out great. Shout out Strive for the jersey designs. They came out great. 2 and 10 working on the jerseys.
Did we show the jerseys or no?
I don't think we've shown the jerseys. Yeah. We need to put
we'll do a cool jersey reveal at some point.
But yeah, excited for those. And are they all one syllable? No, they're not. Don't pretend I didn't say that.
I don't think any of them are one syllable.
Oh yeah. I guess I don't know what syllables are. I'm looking at them here and like, oh, they're all short. Maybe they're one syllable. That's something in common, but no, definitely not. So I'm an idiot. And then let's talk about Monday Night Ball Hockey. I'll let you guys kind of evaluate on the struggles that we have had and what we have tried to do and what we're going to do to fix it. But you guys being more involved with that, I'll let you guys kind of explain what's been happening here.
Yeah, I mean, like the first 3 weeks, it worked really well in Pittsburgh. Everything was coming through. Our graphics were working great. The announcers were coming through. There was a little bit of issues with the sound, but, we were working through it.
Yeah.
And then we get to New Jersey, which I thought was going to be the best signal of all. We're at these rinks every week. Like I never have cell signal issues. So the setup that we're using uses cellular data to transmit the video feed back to our office here. And the first week, it just wouldn't come through. And we had to make the call that, if it's not going to be quality, we're going to scrap it.
Right.
And then the second week it did work. It did come through. And then the third week it wouldn't do it again.
Yeah. We've had, I think we were in a pretty good spot where we were like confident that it was working with our testing before we even went live for Monday Night Ball Hockey leading up to, the season. And then, Pittsburgh worked out pretty well. Like, no issues. I mean, we made, production errors and things like that, but for the technological aspect of, getting the stream video, the video feed working, it was fine. And then, like you said, it just all kind of came crashing down the last few weeks where we were just like inconsistent. And, I don't want to say we don't have control over it, but like, it's just, there's only so much we can do, I guess, at some point, but, we're going to try and, rectify it and figure it out and make sure, we can go live moving forward with confidence that, it'll work pretty much every time. So, that's kind of the thing that's going on right now.
Yeah. We got some new equipment that we're going to use that'll hopefully help out, getting the signal to us. So we're hoping that will give us that extra push to be able to, go on with the show. Because we don't want to put out something that's not going to be good, that you're not going to want to watch. We want to put out a good product that people are going to want to keep watching. So
yeah, and it's just the last 3 weeks haven't felt good, just like constantly disappointing, and we're just like, damn it, it's not a good feeling. But we appreciate you guys wanting to watch and giving the feedback and things like that. But we got to figure it out.
Yeah, the worst part is that our Tortugas won our very first game on what was supposed to be Monday Night Ball Hockey, and no one got to see.
It's crazy, like for them to understand, like, we're testing it like Sunday night and it's working. And then we show up, Monday night and it's just like, all right, I guess we're shit out of luck this week. And then we're like, all right, we got to make a last minute call. And it's just like, so
like even in Massachusetts, this first week we would have done there, Casey Cormier, he has the equipment. We shipped it to him. He goes to the rink, he sets it up, and like the signal on Sunday.
Yeah,
perfect, right?
I drove home from clubs. I came right here. I started testing the signal, and for like 2 hours, it was great. And then we go there Monday, and it's a completely different, setup.
Yeah, I felt so bad for the teams too, because they drove back from clubs, and they got to like, my understanding is they pretty much got to the rink or got home like right around the times the games were going to start. And then they get there, and I had to text them and be like, hey guys, I'm really sorry, but like, I don't know. The signal just wasn't getting to us. It's not like we're not just like like just saying, we don't feel like doing it last minute. Like
Right.
we are in office. We have staff here. We have people sending it up.
Right.
And the signal is just not getting through to us. So like they have both
It's getting
said-
through, but it's like the worst. Like you would never want to watch
Yeah,
it.
you couldn't watch it. Like it's like it looks like you're
choppy as
looking at
hell.
when you like I don't know, if you were like hit a TV screen and it's got
just like rainbow or whatever.
Yeah, it's
static stuff like that. You know?
So we're working on it. Like we have some ways that we know how to get a better signal that we are acting on to make it work for better weeks, or for future weeks. But yeah, it sucks. We're sorry. We apologize to the teams who have, been affected, the fans who wanted to watch. It sucks.
The people setting up. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, maybe we just need to ship Declan all over the place.
True. Maybe it's
Declan,
he's the
who
magic
set up in
button.
Pittsburgh. He's got the magic touch.
But hopefully, we figure that out and can produce some good streams for you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone bearing with us here. Those who have tuned in, thank you. And it's just, we're trying, we're learning, and it's, going to only get better. I like to think that's the mentality we have with the NBHL. Like it's, we're trying and we're only just continuing to get better. And this is just another one of those things. And for all of us, this is pretty unfamiliar territory.
Right.
We have some people that are
Yeah.
advising us that know what they're doing and have been great, but we just have to figure it out. So we're working on it. We're getting there. So with that, let's go through the divisions real quick. Starting tier 1, the parity this year has been wonderful. Almost 2/3 of the games have been decided by 2 goals or less, which is what we want to see. We talked about this obviously in past episodes, but tier 1 lopsided in the past. This year it's coming closer together, which is great. Like in Buffalo, we've got Rose City. They're in 3-0. They're in first place. Like the 716ers, they've only played 1 game so far, so that season's still pretty early on.
Right.
Massachusetts, the Owls, they've been pretty strong. All their games have been close, but they've won all those close games, and they've got great goaltending. Their defense is, one of the best in the whole league, and I think Nick Carter right now has 7 goals. Maybe he's got an assist now after Monday, but it's crazy to see a defenseman, with that stat line, but he's just that good, and that team just feeds him the ball, and he capitalizes every
He's
time.
got 7-1.
7-1.
Yeah.
All right, at least he's
Well balanced defenseman. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like the Scorpions there, they look great.
Yep.
New team.
That's been a little bit of a surprise, I feel like.
Rocking the purple.
Yeah.
And they're doing great. They're 4-2 right now, and the Stars are the opposite end. They're 2-4, which is crazy to think of the Stars as a 2-4 team right now.
Yeah.
They literally won it all last year, but they've got the same guys, and that division's a 4-team division, so it's going to come down to winning a playoff series to getting to the
They'll come
NBHL
around.
championship. So I'm sure they're not worried.
Yeah.
And they're just, it's a good division. Massachusetts is looking obviously very strong. All 4 teams are pretty even. Even the Blackhawks got their first win the other day, and they haven't been blown out in any games. They've been close. Jersey tier 1, Knights Watch and Caribou are at the top. They're pretty much looking at the bye weeks right now for the playoffs. Both teams look good. They both played each other back-to-back days a couple weeks ago. It wasn't like they both 1-0 games.
It was a 2-1 win for Caribou, I think, and then a 1-0 win for Knights Watch the next night. So very even teams, both really great defenses and really great goaltenders.
It's kind of crazy. I feel like it hasn't been I don't want to say it's solidified yet, but I feel like it hasn't been teams have been, it's always come down to the end with some of, with the New Jersey tier 1 division, with who's going to get in, who's going to get out. I feel like it's nice to see, I guess, that, some teams are taking the upswing like Knights Watch, and I don't think it's nice to see teams going down, but just the parity rings true for this division too.
Yeah, the Hawks just need to start scoring goals. They have 9 goals in 7 games. The team is amazing. They're a very good team, but they're not producing right now, and championship hangover, I guess it's getting to them a little bit. And then we'll, Twos, we got our first win. Top Guns got their first win. So yeah, Jersey tier 1 looks good. Top Guns even took Knights Watch to a shootout on Monday Night Ball Hockey.
Yeah,
the one that we did get in
there.
Yeah.
And it was like a 9-10 round shootout before we got our first goal too.
Yeah.
A lot of great goaltending in New Jersey. Shout out to all my fellow goalies in this division.
And then, Pittsburgh right now, Battalion and Aces both have 10 points, are at the top of the standings, but the offense, like the goals per game in Pittsburgh, I don't know what the numbers exactly are, but they're like significantly higher than the other three divisions. Like they're just scoring more goals there. The offense is just crazy right now.
It's like the NBA, no defense there.
I mean, three of the top 5 offenses in tier 1 in like a number of goals. And it's kind of, that's kind of a tough stat to do right now because varying number of games, but Battalion, Aces, Imperium all have 19 goals or more at this stage of the season through, like 5 games. So basically averaging 4 or more goals a game, which is definitely not the case for our Tortugas team. We're averaging 2. So
definitely not.
Then like the Renegades, they've been at the bottom of the standings for some reason. That team is ridiculous on paper, and they got their first win finally. So, we even saw the Pioneers beat the Imperium. Was it on Monday Night Ball Hockey that one night?
Pioneers beat the Imperium 2-1 on Monday, April 22nd.
Okay,
which was Monday Night Ball Hockey.
200 teams is a little tough to keep track of. Yeah, sorry to
pretty much impossible.
Actually, I guess we got it right. But yeah, tier 1's in good shape. What's it called? Women's tier, same thing. Like they're the draft, obviously, so the teams end up being pretty balanced. And at this, there's only one more undefeated team in women's, which is the Lucky Duckies. It sounds ridiculous. It's hard to say that with a straight face. But they, it's weird because they're the last undefeated team, but they're not even in first place because both of their wins, or 2 of their wins, are like overtime wins, right. And for whatever reason, they are not in first place, and the Whales are in first place. But, Mass, like all 6 teams are back and forth. Like the Krabby Patties, another ridiculous team name to say. They're in first. They were number 1 in the power rankings, but they lost to the 5th place team last week, the Blaze. So like it's, Mass women's is always, I think, probably our lowest scoring division. Yeah, because the goalies are just elite. I feel like a broken record.
I feel like they've had they've always had a good amount of teams in that division too. So it's, they have a lot of players up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Their women's tier is awesome. Yeah. Pittsburgh, we have the Slashers there in first. They're the new name to the Pittsburgh women's tier, and they lost for the first time. On the beginning of May, they lost. That's the last time they played. They haven't played in a while, but they lost to the
Riddlers.
The Riddlers, yeah, the Riddlers. So they were undefeated going into that. Riddlers were the 2nd place team, so they're kind of duking it out. But the other 2 teams too are also,
in the mix.
Yeah, they're in the mix. They're competing with them, and they restart the weekend, not this Memorial Day weekend that just is passing us by the time you're listening to this, but the weekend following, they will play for their first time in a month. All of Pittsburgh is like that. We've gotten a couple sassy comments
I saw some of those
about the gap, which I get, but like Pittsburgh too, they have the tournament out there. It's what Mark Madden's tournament's in the beginning of May.
Right. Yeah.
Then they have, Mother's Day. Then they have club championships in Pittsburgh, and then they have Memorial Day. So they're kind of just May is a tough month for Pittsburgh. But yeah, so, women's along with everyone else will restart next weekend. DC women's, we have, the Dingoes there in first. They just had their first loss of the season. So we saw, these tournament style divisions with DC, Jersey, and Mass. Pretty much all the teams exchange wins and losses. Like in the second weekend of games, we saw like the top teams fall to some of the teams that were at the bottom of the standings after opening weekend. So skill level's great in women's, and it's only going up. And now we got women's elite we're looking forward to as well. So I cannot wait. Tier 2, Buffalo. We've got 10 teams in that division right now. Fighting Irish, Revolution, Gamblers, still undefeated. Where it's only got 1 loss to the Fighting Irish opening day. It was a 4-3 game. It was an awesome game. But that division seems a little more level than it's been. There's a bunch of teams at the top right now. It's kind of tough to decipher so early on, like who the front runners are and who's like at the bottom. But it looks like there's a lot of teams that are, in that division that are really competing with each other. So it's good to see. Buffalo has been less suspendy this year so far. Last year they were very suspendy, but.
Did they have the javelin toss last year? Was that Buffalo?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still Yeah, Buffalo division. We're going to release that video at some point. I don't know how or when. I've shown it to some people on my phone. They're like, oh my God, this is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, javelin toss.
When she said suspension, I just thought of javelin toss.
But yeah, Buffalo's in good shape. Chicago, a little more top-heavy division. The Snipers, 4-0 again. Went 8-0 last year in the regular season.
I think I made that comment to you guys last week or whatever it was. I was like, I feel like they always do this and then they just miss out on the playoff or on the cup or the championships. So we'll see if they actually make it this year.
I know. We'll see. The Stingrays have been much improved this year. They've given the Snipers some pretty close games, and they played them twice. They lost, I think, 2-1 and 3-1, and they're giving them a tough time. And even the Rat Kings, which is the combination of the Southside Rats and I think the Belmont Heights Kings.
Ooh.
They're they've got Eddie Urban on their team. Like they've got some skill. Yeah. So that division is chipping away here. We got some interesting things planned for that next year too that we won't discuss yet, but some changes out in that area for the NBHL we're looking into. And then California. So we had their first weekend of games. The way their division is working this year in Tier 2, they have 5 teams and they'll meet up twice. So the first weekend was in May. Each team played 6 games. Crazy. And the second weekend, they'll come back in July. They'll play 2 games Saturday and play off Sunday. So they're playing in a shortened season. They're playing 8 games instead of 10. Mm-hmm. But that way everyone's playing 10. There were some issues last year. Teams were, some had 8, some had 10. We did win percentage, but people weren't happy with that. So it all switched over to this format now. And we saw the newly entered Viper Kings from Vancouver fly on in, go 6-0.
Yeah.
Beat the Bashers in an overtime game, had a pretty sick goal to win it.
Is that their first regular season loss, the Bashers? Have they been undefeated in the regular season the last 2? I know the first year they didn't even let a goal in.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's right. The first year they didn't even let a goal in.
Yeah.
It was insane. I don't know.
It's definitely their first regular season loss to a Canadian team. I can say that with confidence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. I mean, not that there wasn't competition. I mean, we always had the,
the Wolves.
Oh my God, how can I forget?
Years.
Yeah, the OC Wolves and even the Royals.
And I mean, the Sauce have been on the rise the past couple of years. They've been great.
Yeah, and it's nice, not only is it another team that's like rivaling the top competition, but it's like another team of guys that were not in that division at all. It's completely new team, new guys. It's not like another team in the division like beefed up and is rising up to challenge. It's a completely new group of guys that are coming to the division for the first time and showing that they're up there with the best of them.
Yeah, my understanding is all 5 teams in that division are very confident that they can win it. Like I know the United, like they did not have their full team. Mm-hmm. I know the Bruins, they did not have their full team and their goalie got hurt. Kenny Jones, shout out Seals.
They all make playoffs that weekend, right?
They do, yeah.
So
the Sauce played awesome. They played close games against both the Bashers and the Viper Kings. So it's
Sauce top 3 logo easily.
Yeah. When I mentioned earlier that I bought a team's shirt, that's the one I bought because that's the I don't know. I love the Sauce logo. Yeah, we probably should get that. We need to get a shelf over here and we can have little knickknacks.
Trophy for each logo winner. We'll do like a little burger for the Burger Boys.
Yeah. And then we'll just get a meatball for the meatballs.
Yeah.
The Burger Boys haven't won, right?
No, the Burger Boys
won. They did one.
Yeah.
Oh, we have 4. It's yeah.
I mean, we could just order takeout before each episode and put it on the shelf.
And that'll be our post-podcast celebration.
But yeah, so Mass Tier 2, like we saw the Flamingos beat the teams that were in first and second at that time, the Tropics and Freeze. Actually, I think they still currently are. But then the next week, the Flamingos play the Reservoir Dogs, who are in last place, and they go to a shootout, and they beat them in the shootout. But yeah, Mass Tier 2 is in very good shape. The teams are great, and some of the teams at the bottom of the standings are the teams I thought that would be at the top. So a lot to unfold there still.
Yeah.
North Jersey Tier 2, we've got power rankings, number 1 and 2 seeds, Long Island Sound, Long Island Ball Hockey Club. Long Island Ball Hockey Club beat the Sound when they played each other, and it was the
Battle of Long Island.
It was a battle. It was definitely a battle. There was a very A lot of body contact in that game, but those two teams look dynamite. You know, the comment we got on the power rankings is, how are these two teams both not playing at NBHL championships no matter what? And, you know, and someone else commented this in reply, which was great, just like pressure makes diamonds. Like, I want to cite my source there. Maybe we'll find it later, but you know, you have to earn your spot there. Like if,
I can find it.
you know, you win the Long Island division and you think you're the top two teams, then, you know, you're getting there and you don't have to play the second best team. You know, who knows if that's actually the case, but you got to work for it. And, you know, these bigger divisions are getting two teams because there's just so many that are there.
Yeah.
Here it is. Mike Dill, who
Is he a top fan?
Top fan on
think he's a
NHL
top
Facebook.
top fan, asked him to do the commentary for Mass Tier 2. A couple people told me he'd be good, but he was unavailable. So, or Mass Tier 2, Mass
Tier 1.
Yeah, the Monday Night Ball hockey. So
Yeah.
maybe we can, what's it called? Get him on one of these. But yeah, North Jersey Tier 2. It's not a two-team division either. The rest of the division is very strong. It's just those top two teams are the ones that are, you know, bound it out, I guess. Philly Tier 2, again, 5 really strong teams. We have last year's champion in last place. We've got Philadelphia Code Red in first place, but they've lost twice to the Delco Demons. Like, it's just kind of all over the place. The Philly Mammoths, who are the Philly Heat from the years past, they went to the Milet Cup 2 years ago. They're in 4th place out of 5. So that's going to come down to the playoffs. Like, you know, it just is what it is. Whoever gets the, you know, top seed, I guess, gets that bye. That'll help out, but that's anybody's game up there in Philly Tier 2. Pittsburgh Tier 2 seems relatively similar in the sense like the top handful of teams are all back and forth. Even like the Butler Bantams, even though they're a different looking team this year, they're, you know, towards the bottom of the standings, mid to bottom, where they've been at the top the past couple years. Yeah. So Militia is where they have always been on top, and they also just won club championships B bracket. So Militia is getting some wins, and
yeah, they made a deep run at the cup last year. I think the Mutiny took them down in the end for semis, maybe.
Yeah, and they went to the semis.
They were a big team. I remember seeing Militia, and I was like,
quarters.
2022 was they lost in the semis to the Chargers, South Coast Chargers. That's what happened. But I think they lost. I know they lost to the.
I remember it was a big game.
They beat them. I remember watching.
Did they beat them? Maybe they beat them.
There was like a crazy comeback that went to a shootout.
Yeah,
in the rain, I remember.
Yeah, that's the game I'm talking about. Maybe they. Yeah,
that was Saturday though.
Gotcha. Well, anyway, that team was huge. When I saw them at the cup, I was like, "Holy crap! Like this is probably one of the biggest like team. Like they're literally all like 6'3". It felt like.
Yeah, they're rather large. South Jersey Tier 2, Chiefs are in first. Majestic gave them a game a couple weeks ago. They were winning 3-1 going into the third, and
late into the third.
Yeah, and they gave up 3 goals quick because, you know, that one line with the Bell brothers is tough to stop. And I think it was Eric Bell had the game winner, but, you know, the Sloths, they haven't lost yet. You know, the Soul are much improved. Yeah. Like the whole division is strong, with maybe an exception to my boys on the Calamari. Yeah. They're having a rough go right now.
I was full of confidence for them before the season started, but
I know. Yeah. I mean, they came into NBHL cold, like 4 years cold of ball hockey cold. Yes. So they
some of their last action was winning the EBHL championships with Tortuga, some of them guys.
Yeah. So they got a little ways to go, but
they're minus 25 in goal differential.
That's rough. Sorry.
But they have a great logo though. So
great logo,
great logo,
they
great jerseys.
Fall on.
I ate a lot of calamari this past weekend. So
that was nice of you.
Yeah.
DC Tier 2, the Armada are crushing it right now. They are the team to beat. They're undefeated. The Plague and the Gladiators are kind of that 2-3 spot. We've got the Phoenix and the Phantoms in like the 4-5 spots battling. So division is, you know, continues to get better. That basically the Sparks and the Hayes combining to make this Armada team is just a powerhouse. Yeah. They've got some studs, and they're going to be tough to beat. I just actually yesterday had to do a video where I randomly selected their last weekend of games who plays each other because they didn't have their schedule out that far because with the 5-team schedule, it's unbalanced. You play each team twice, and then there's 2 games remaining. So I just basically picked out of a hat on who would play who because I think the ideal matchup is not Armada. And, I sent that over to Wayne. I don't know if he has told teams yet, but I think it's the Phantoms are the team that got Armada twice, actually. But, yeah, they are looking pretty good right now, that Armada team. But the other teams look improved. Like the Phoenix are much better this year.
Yeah.
Significantly better. Hybrid divisions, Carolina tier 2, 3. The Squall are, I have in here, the Squall are squalling. They are doing great. They are undefeated so far. They're a tier 2 team playing tier 3 teams. We weren't sure what the level of tier 3 would be compared to them. And it looks like they have really put together a very, very good tier 2 team. Didn't have in the top 25 though. Didn't really know how to incorporate them as a one division team basically, but they're doing great. The tier 3 teams though, they all look pretty close. The Realm are the first place team. They're from Charlotte. They're part of the Charlotte group. And I mean, those 5 tier 3 teams are all exchanging wins and losses. It's been close, honestly. And then in Florida, we've got the Mutiny. They're the clear-cut top tier 2 team. The Miami Beach Boys that have a bunch of, junior hockey players, a few like East Coast Hockey League players. First week was a little rough for them. This past weekend, they fared much, much better. And it looks like they're, ice hockey players, so at this level, sometimes it takes, a couple games just to kind of get your feet under you and get adjusted. And they looked much, much improved in their second weekend of games.
And that'll probably keep going too as they play more and more ball hockey games. You just get a better feel for it. Just the weight of the ball on your stick, the running, the cardio. I think the cardio is the biggest thing I hear from the ice hockey guys that transition over is they don't realize how much running ball hockey is.
I'll never forget when we did that the first year when we did the nasty knuckle tournament before the first Milec Cup ever. We had like a few ice hockey teams and they were just literally constantly just, I hate running. I don't want to run. Like, can I glide? It's hilarious. But yeah, that's the commonality there.
We were at clubs this weekend, and I was playing with one of our Tortugas teammates, John Bendorf, and he said, I used to think back checking sucked in ice hockey, but back checking really sucks in ball hockey.
That's true.
Bendy played this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he played. All right.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Some Tortuga action on the Indians.
There we go. We need that. But yeah, now we'll move on to tier 3. Cali tier 3. It's almost burger time.
It's almost
time for the boys to come down from San Francisco, and they also have a second tier 3 team this year. The what are they? The Bay Area
B-sides.
The B-sides. So I'm not sure how they'll be, but they're gonna. I think they come down in June. So this weekend approaching is when they will make their debut this season. Another team we did not put in the power rankings. 2 teams that we didn't because we're like, they haven't played yet. So it's kind of tough to judge, even though we can imagine the Burger Boys will be one of the teams to beat in that California division. Their opening weekend was a little chaotic, but we've looking forward to the second weekend and hopefully getting some things straightened out, have some good competitive games, and see how it goes. There's some new teams like Burger Boys playing the Blades. The Blades look really good. And then the Las Vegas teams won't be there this month. I don't think they come back until the playoffs. I could be wrong though. So Vegas, sorry if that's true. And tier 3 in Georgia finally debuted. First ever NBHL games in Georgia. Pretty sick. The Atlanta Dirty Birds played in Florida a couple years ago in tier 2. They shaved down their roster a little bit, but they dominated. They mercied all 3 of their games, 8-0. So they look, they're top dog down there. But the other 3 teams, like it was a lot of new NBHLers. Right. We had players coming in from Tennessee, from Alabama, from all over the place to get to Georgia, South Carolina, and it was just cool. You never really think you're going to have a division there, and then we do, and they play hockey. Everyone seemed to have a good time, and hopefully we grow up from there.
We got the Hooligans back in there too, another returning team.
Yeah, the Hooligans, they deserve it after driving 8 hours to play in Carolina a couple of years ago. That was tough. Thank you to all of you who did that, because that was asking a lot. Indiana Tier 3, we've got Columbus. The Columbus Counts. Great logo, great team, ranked number 1. They are, the only non-Indiana team driving across state lines to come do some damage over there. The pack, though, it was after the first week, I think the Donkeys were in second place. After the second week, the Mastodons were in second. Then the pack came in last weekend, and they beat both the Mastodons and the Donkeys. So they're kind of in a 3-way kind of middle ground for that second place spot. And, the pack have some good players that just haven't been showing up, I guess, or showing up both, I guess, on the score sheet and like literally to the games. I don't really know. Yeah. But they did this past weekend, and they did great. So those Indiana teams are looking better. Columbus is just looking really strong, so they're going to be tough to take down. Long Island Tier 3, 4 teams. They're all exchanging wins and losses. We got the Super Gremlins on top. Only a 4-game sample size so far, so a lot to still see what's going to happen there. But, we're just happy to have a division there after all these years. Long Island should have an NBHL division. That division should grow next year. There's just so many good players on that island that should be a part of the NBHL.
And such a beautiful rink too. What a great rink that is over there.
It is sick, yeah.
Have you been there?
I haven't been there, but I remember seeing the pictures when they first put it up and like looking at the videos. It's like the overhead roof is just so cool.
It does look beautiful.
We need something like that over here.
Yeah.
Then Maryland Tier 3, we got the Blazers in first place. They lost for the first time this season to the Rockville Wolves. Get a rematch this weekend coming up. But I know the Wolves were one of those teams that was right outside the top 25 that were not happy about it. But they're 2-2. They're a 500 team. We can't put a 500 team in the top 25. But they did beat the Blazers. So they were like, I think they were one of the teams that replied to us like this. So like, this is bulletin board material. And I'm like, let's go. Let's see it. So, they already beat the Blazers. I'm sure they want to prove that they should be ranked above them in their next set of games. And we'll see. And Ogopogo's still at the bottom there.
Sick logo, sick name.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
New England Tier 3, Lobsters, are out of hibernation because that's what lobsters do. And they have, they're 8-0. They're doing great. Came after me on social media after our last episode.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
We almost kicked him out of the league, but we opted not to. We just thought that probably wasn't a good optic. Yeah. But I'm sure this clip will somehow get used by them.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's always a surprise.
The Spindle City Falcons, they're not far behind them in the standings too. They're a very, very good team. They have some guys from the Chargers that won the Milet Cup a couple years ago. So, but overall, like that Division 2, like it's strong all the way through. And there are another 7 teams, so they only get one at the NBHL championships. You could probably make an argument that there's more than one team deserving at that division.
Yeah.
North Jersey Tier 3. The Pirates look like the team. They've beaten the number 2 seed, the number 3 seed, the number 4 seed. Haven't played the number 5 seed yet, but they played them their next set of games. But they look strong. They have a lot of players that were in Tier 2 last year that dropped to Tier 3, and, they're doing what they should be doing, I guess.
Yeah.
I was told that they were probably the strong team in that division going into it, and they've lived up to it. So Pirates look good. And Pacific Northwest Tier 3, the Portland Golden Eagles, they've allowed 1 goal in their 6 games so far. They've played the 3-time
champ. 25 for and 1 against.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is impressive.
Yeah, and they've played the Cold Snacks, the defending champs, twice. They beat them both times. They're both 1-goal games, so they're neck and neck. The Burnside Bears, they've given some close games too. But the Golden Eagles, the first 2 weekends were in Portland. They had that home rink. They took advantage of it. And now the last 2 weekends, we have a June and July weekend on Bainbridge Island in Seattle. Bainbridge Island is its own place, but near Seattle, where we'll do the last regular season and we'll do the playoffs there. So we'll see what happens. But competitiveness has been good. Golden Eagles look great. Cold Snacks look great. The Pilots in last place are having a rough go. They're a free agent team.
It's a sick name.
Yeah,
I like it.
The logo. Even like they have like that cream color.
Maybe they'll fly him to the island. I don't know.
Could they?
Maybe.
You got to assume someone's got a pilot's license. On the team, right?
Actually, someone has to, or else it's just.
We're gonna make them change
so
the name
fake.
next year if they don't.
Yeah, they would have to change. Philly tier 3, the Boogie. They're at the top. Yeah, it is tough to say some of these names and try to talk serious.
Yeah.
The Boogie. Yeah. I mean, I'm about to say the Roast Mellows. Like that's another one. Like the Berserkers, the Devils, Roast Mellows. Like all those teams are, at the top. We have like the Moonshiners. Shout out PPE or Philly Ball Hockey.
Philly
I guess
Ball
they
Hockey
are
now. Yeah, new name.
Their team. They haven't been, what we expected them to be this year. They've had a rough go. I think they had some injury trouble and stuff like that. But even still, like to see a team like that in 8th place shows how strong that division is. And they have, 2 teams going to NBHL championships. And just like last playoffs, it'll be a bloodbath getting there. It was tough. It was tough to get there.
They just do the one day thing, right?
I think they might have it split up across
They split it up.
I think they might go. Don't they do like the first round like one day and they do finals on like another day or something?
Yeah, maybe that's how they do it. Pittsburgh tier 3, a lot of new teams we're unfamiliar with. Fighting Scots, they've got 28 goals in 4 games. They're 4-0. They're in first place. And then the Mallards, they're undefeated. Little tidbit, I guess, is when we had our EBHL league for the first 4 years of what led to the NBHL, Gianni's team and mine was called the Mallards. So we love that name. We love it. But yeah, there's a lot of teams. We're still seeing how they develop. We got the meatballs down at the bottom though. We need some more goals. Need some more meat from the meatballs. Jersey tier 3. It's been great. We've been indoors at Choice Inline a couple weeks, at GT a couple weeks, and we've got these 3 teams at the top: the South Jersey Vipers, the Atlantic City Bonefish, and the South Jersey Trash Pandas. The Vipers have beat the Trash Pandas. The Trash Pandas have beat the Bonefish. The Bonefish have beat the Vipers. Like they're all just exchanging wins, and they're all very good. So, not to say it's a 3-team division, but those teams are 1, 2, 3. A couple other teams knocking on their door right below them that are all having great seasons too. And I don't know. I don't know who's going to win that division. It's kind of crazy.
It's my favorite, the 12-team divisions where you just have no idea until you do. But yeah.
Well, a lot of the teams are new too because we haven't had a tier 3 down here. So, a lot of these teams came out of the woodwork. Some of them, like the Vipers, were already like established tournament team.
Right.
Trash Pandas were a lot of the guys on the Jays last year. But, a lot of the other ones are just guys that just haven't been playing and finally get the opportunity, and they're looking good.
And then Texas tier 3, the Colorado Massive fly into Texas, clean sweep, 5-0. They beat the Rougarou, and then the Marksmen, they beat the Rougarou twice. So for the Rougarou lost in the Milet Cup tier 3 finals last year. Are right now 1-3 and in 3rd place in their division, which is crazy.
Did they have like wholesale changes? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but yeah, Colorado, from what I understand, is they made some improvements this offseason, and it clearly looks like they did. In 2 weeks, the Marksmen fly to Colorado and play a 3-game like set against them. It's like 3 regular season games, but they're getting a trip to going to hang out in Colorado and play some hockey.
Yeah, I would have gone and watched games. That stinks.
Yeah, that would have been
pretty
cool. Amazing timing.
Yeah.
But that's all our tiers. That's all we got.
That's it. There's no more. Crazy.
Yeah, I
Only
mean
30 of them.
Only 203 teams. That was it. Quick and easy.
You want to get into the questions? I can read those.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So some questions we got. Can we change the icing to center line next year? From Dubes 96.
I mean, it's the IS International Street and Ball Hockey Federation rule is centerline icing. So unless that changes, we're not changing it. I mean, there's a few divisions that don't do centerline icing for various reasons. So, I mean, there is a couple exceptions, but if the sport's red line icing, will continue to be
we're gonna
red line icing.
Prep
as well.
our American players and Canadian players for world championships and keep it that way.
Yeah.
I also think red line icing just makes for better hockey. Less dump and chase, more controlled zone exits, zone entries. You get to really play in the offensive zone and not have to
Does clubs
back it
play
out.
blue line?
No, we do red line.
Oh, they do red line?
It's red line, then floating blue.
Gotcha. Okay. Next question. What are some long-term goals for the NBH as a whole? It's a great question. Joey Frank, 87.
I think it's growth. I mean, teams we want to grow some of these areas and get more players in Georgia. We have 4 teams. Let's get more teams there.
And not only just like the NBHL, just like honestly, those communities like playing the sport, like youth, whether it's NBHL or not, a men's league, women's league, draft leagues, things like that have propped up out of, some of these other divisions being created. So kind of helps the whole scene grow.
Yeah. Just getting people to the rink, playing ball hockey more, and then even growing internationally. Like, I know we would like to expand into Canada next year, and we've done a couple things up there to kind of, slowly under the radar get the word out, but we are definitely trying to expand into Canada. So if you're Canadian, in our link tree right now, there is information in basically, if you go to our Instagram, you go to the link tree, there's a form that you can fill out and say, hey, I'm interested in NBHL in Canada, and it's going to help us decide where to go, who to run these divisions, and what teams we are going to be adding to the league. So we're trying. Canada, we're looking for you. And other international growth too. But then, I mean, not just teams. Like, we want to grow as a business. We want to obviously, long-term have more live streams. Like, right now, we just have the Monday Night Ball Hockey Memory to Video. Joey Delgado and his crew will start doing some live streams for us starting this month. But we want to have more options to watch games live. And I think that's, all the growing pains of Monday Night Ball Hockey right now, they're definitely very annoying for people, but hopefully long-term this develops into systems that we can use and have everywhere to get more live content for people.
Yeah.
What do you think, G? Goals?
Other goals? I mean, maybe one day pro ball hockey.
Yeah.
It's
I think that's kind of like what we've dreamt of course. So
yeah, it's a great sport. It's entertaining to watch. People, there's a lot of really talented athletes. Probably way more talented than the schmucks in the NHL,
Yeah.
So, we'll see if it's something that we can try for.
Yeah. All right. Next question. After Scotland, is there a goal for a next country the league would like to send a team to? And that's from Sophia.
Sophia, it's our girl. Amazing writer for the NBHL.
If there's a country and there's a tournament, I would say there's a opportunity that we will send a team.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of Canadian tournaments reach out about us sending teams that a lot of them have fallen during just the season, so it's been kind of tough. But I think as long as we have enough time to plan for it, I would like to start sending NBHL teams to pretty much everywhere that has a tournament.
See why not?
Not just for marketing, but for the experience alone. I have so many memories that I'll remember for the rest of my life because of what we did in Scotland. It was insane. It was so much fun. And I think I can speak for the whole team and say everybody seemed to genuinely just have a great time.
Right.
And I think it's an experience people need to have.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the Barstool tournaments where we went to Vegas and Detroit and stuff like that. And those were great times, and you meet a bunch of new people and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I think just going away for a ball hockey tournament is an experience I think that's why this league is able to work, honestly. It's because people are willing to travel and have these weekends because it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just you and your friend just hanging out, having a weekend and playing some hockey, and why not? So the answer is, I don't know what country, but if the country says to us, hey, we're having a tournament in 6 months, can you bring a team? We'll entertain anything. So
yeah, key part being that 6 months. We need a little bit of advanced warning to go to these tournaments.
Yeah, it's probably more than that. But I think that's all we got.
Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up the epi. Yeah.
That's about all, yeah. Thanks for listening. If you're still here, if you've listened to this whole thing, if you've listened to this plus the Scotland episode, we give you a big thank you. That's probably 3 hours of just NBHL talk and me rambling that you've listened to. So I apologize for just everything. Just everything.
Yeah, we're going to try and find some different formats for, some of these episodes. So be on the lookout for some different stuff.
Yeah, we might have some episodes coming up that won't be necessarily going through the divisions, just more talking about just things within
State
the
of the
NBHL.
league,
Yeah.
business stuff like that. So,
But
keep it different for you.
all right, well,
Yeah.
thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
All right, see you later, alligators.